at 39.
75 Frank.
This is 1, I'm receiving at 39.
75 Frank.
This is 1, I'm receiving at 39.
75 Frank.
This is 1, I'm receiving at 39.
75 Frank.
This is 1, I'm receiving at 39.
75 Frank.
This is 1, I'm receiving at 39.
75 Frank.
This is 1, I'm receiving at 39.
75 Frank.
This is 1, I'm receiving at 39.
75 Frank.
This is 1, I'm receiving at 39.
75 Frank.
Alright, here we go.
Alright, what's the plan?
Are we going all out?
Yeah.
But they could do this. I don't think that they'll try to open storefront.
I feel like storefronts, if they're gonna play.
Door charge freezer, and then wall charge storefront, so you can look at the front.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's rocking what?
I'm taking extra flash just to try to see if we can finish it right here.
Alright, I'm out of here.
Well, they're going now. Get ready.
I think I'm heading north.
All right.
Who's got clacker?
Do we have arcade, or do they have it?
We still have arcade.
3, 2, 1.
So I'm going in.
Freezer and storefront.
You get that power.
Send it, brother.
Watch arcade. Watch arcade back. They can't come the other way. They can't come
Nice.
through.
GG.
Good execution.
Got it.
Green, we just censor office and dog, right?
Yo, what? It like swings open? Dude, this is slick.
I'm dropping.
Going. I'm pushing.
Nice.
A vote for Futureman is a vote for the future. Argus stock up 5.
Hey everyone, I'm THPine and welcome to Community Hours. I'm THPine, the community manager for Due Process, and I'm here to I'm here to answer all new questions. Not asking questions. Well, I can ask some questions as well, but this is mainly about me answering questions, so let's do that maybe. Tetra, don't leave games just to watch this. Don't leave your teammates behind. They need you. They need you under dome. for sure. Probably. Hello, Snarms. And Redacted is here. Tetra, obviously. And Blue Dragno. All right. Okay, cool. So, 1 second. There we go. All right. So, is that the real Snarms? Yeah, it is. Pretty sure. Hey, Soviet Zabaka. Where's the thing I wanted to open? So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot, and I'll answer them. And I'm trying to find the patch notes right now, so I can get us some talking points. Did we do a community hours last week? Probably. Can't remember talking about last week's patch though. I mean, it's not very big. New smoke sounds, I guess. And more Molotov impact sounds and whatnot. Well, the big patch is from this week, which was the Hitrage fix. Yay, or refactor. So Hitrage should be way better now. So that's good. In combination with a few other things, basically Tiamat did sit down and reworked a bunch of that code and created a bunch of very positive results. You did community hours, but one of the maps was cancelled. Last week? Yeah, maybe. I think last week's Tuesday making map stream was cancelled because Nick was out of order or something. So yeah, what's your experience so far? Did you play this week? Does the Hitrage feel better? Let's talk about the other effects it has as well. So the big one for me, well, I didn't really, how do I say this? I didn't play too much yet. Well, I don't think I played a match this week yet, actually, but I played with this test in internal. Did I? I think I did play with on an internal test, if I remember correctly. What I wanted to say anyway is that the big change, in addition to Hitrage being more consistent, is the reduction or the reduce, like the lowered delay for shooting, like the shooting. I can't talk today, sorry. Let's try that again. So the other big effect, besides Hitrage being more consistent, is that the delay between, like after you're clicking your mouse and actually something happening on your screen, got reduced significantly. So before the patch, we had a delay for shooting, recoil, muzzle flash, tracer effects, hit sounds, and hit effects of around averaging around 114 milliseconds. And after the patch, it's now, these are actually separate now. The delay for recoil, muzzle flash, and trace effects is down to 31 seconds, and the one for hit sounds and hit effects is down to 64 seconds on average, which is a massive improvement. This should feel way more snappy. It will also make recoil way more like easier to handle, because the recoil will now actually be, well, have less of a delay, so the gun will be more accurate on where it's shooting, where it's pointing. Like the recoil will show you where it's actually shooting right now, and not with a significant delay that throws your handling off, your recoil handling. So that should be a massive improvement. Just to do some, like, for comparison, Shiloh, these stats are coming from Shiloh. He has a crazy setup with a custom mouse and a 240 hertz camera and whatnot. And he did some testing, so that's where these stats are coming from. And he also did some testing on CSGO. And CSGO averaged around like button to pixel ratio is what he calls it. No, button to pixel delay is what he calls it. And CSGO has around 71 milliseconds of button to pixel delay. So we reduced ours from 114 to 64 or even 31 milliseconds, depending on what effect or what part of the delay you're looking at. So we just surpassed CSGO, so that's good. I'm very, very, very proud that we, or more specifically Tiamat, pulled that off. I think this is an amazing update. There's still more work to do. I think there's actually a list in the... Yeah, we'll go through the list in a moment. So there's more stuff coming later down the line, but we needed to get this out fast. So the original plan was to do all of it in one big batch, but then he decided to just rescope the task and only take the important things, or prioritize the important things first and pump these out. So well, now you have them. Otherwise, it would have taken longer, and we didn't want that. So we got the important part of the way, and we will do more improvements to it later down the road. So yeah, let's go through the details in a moment. Let me take a look at chat really quick. First question of the night: when will we know about DP partners? Well, you have to ask Smith whenever he gets around to it. It's not my department really. I know they're open. He will probably look at them. He usually when did they open? Because it usually keeps them open for a week, but I think they're open for a week already because he's busy. So might take a few more days. So Res says hit reg and less input delay on shooting has been great for me. That's great to hear. DP was already better than CSGO. Well, not in terms of button to pixel latency, but that's the term, not delay. But now it is, so. Obviously, it's not the only factor. Like if you're comparing games, even from a purely technical point of view, there are more factors going in. But in this specific measurement, we're pretty good now, I'd say. I feel like it would be a good decision to have weekly rotation on maps, randomly generated every week, not every match, so it makes it literally limiting on how you can plan things. I mean, wait, what do you mean? Okay, let me just break down to you how our map system works right now, and then we'll see if you want to rephrase that suggestion. Because this is pretty close to what is actually happening. So what we're doing is every week our level designers sit down, kick the level generation system, the algo, they kick it, and it starts working, and it pumps out a foundation or multiple foundations for maps, and the level designers finish them off with a few more touches, adding some more details, adding doors, adding bomb, whatnot. You can actually watch that process or parts of that process for a few maps, or you can watch that process for a few maps every week on the Monday and Tuesday Making Map streams around the same time as this stream. And they create around at least 20 maps every week. And then on Friday, we deploy the map patch where we add these 20 new maps to our current map pool and retire a few older maps. So we have a map pool of around 150 maps right now, I believe. That should be in the ballpark at least. And we add 20 new ones every week and remove a few older ones a week, usually 20 as well. We're trying to keep the number at this right now for technical reasons. But might be able to increase the size later down the line. But so yeah, the maps are usually around longer than a week actually. LOC of Time TR. Hi Thunderstrike. Now DP will become the #1 tactic shooter. Well, isn't it already? Well, it depends on how you define that, I guess. But when early access will end? To be decided. That's not quite set in stone yet. But then again, like early access, like going from early access to full release will not really change. Like this will mainly be a PR stunt. Because there's no, for us, there will probably not be a significant shift of gears or anything like that. We're continue our cycle of improving the game, pushing out more content, pushing out more improvements, adding new stuff, even after release. Like there's not much change for the game actually when we cross that line. It's more for, okay, we want to release now for PR reasons, and the game is in a good state now, or well, it's in a good state right now, I would say. I mean, there's work to be done, don't get me wrong, but the game is fun. I know some people back to differ. That's why we're working on things, right? But yeah, like we want to hit a few milestones before we go to early access, but we will not stop working on it afterwards. So it's mainly, as I said, like a publicity thing. I'm joking, Lamau, but this game will be big one day. I have no doubt about that. Well, thanks, you're confident in our product, our game. I saw a magical experience. Bart played a game. Bart plays quite frequently. I know that he likes to get his ears on the ground and play the game himself regularly with casuals and new players and whatnot. So it's like, depends on the time of day. It's not unlikely that you catch him in a game. Estimated rating, and will that come with release, or is that in the works? That will probably come with release. I think we're not 100% set on the rating yet, but probably T, I'd say. But don't take my word for it. Like, did you read my Word document, suggestions and ideas? Not yet. I saw it though. I saw it on my good that you mentioned it, because I saw it on my phone. Was like, I'm gonna have to open that on my PC later. Let's do that right now because I want to actually look through it. It was like attacker economy, if I remember correctly. Sounds interesting. Where's the channel? Let me open that up really quick so I don't forget about it. Oh, it's an actual Word document. You're crazy. You're a person not using Google Docs. Okay, have it open, we'll read it later. Don't you think that maps generated in 90% by systems won't be that fun as maps mostly created by map creators? I think you're talking about like what we're aiming for with the next tile set right now, where Axum did go to great length to automate most of the process of creating a map. Do you think that map generating will be less fun? No, I don't think so, actually. The level designers are not really, like, they're not trying to be too experimental with maps anyway. And if they are, then it's an active experiment. But the regular workflow is just to pump out maps following the same rules every time. So all maps of the same tileset are fairly similar and consistent anyway. Like there's not too much creativity going on if they're just pumping out. The creativity comes in when they're doing active experiments, where they're trying something new and stuff like that, and when they're manipulating, like changing the level generation system to create something different. And that's still possible, it's even more effective actually, if the generation process is at 90% and not at like a lower percentage as it is right now for most tile sets. It depends on the tile set right now. But for tile set 5, it will be pretty close to, yeah, probably 90%, something along those lines. Depends on how you measure, obviously, but we're pretty close to fully automated. There will only be a few more, it will be really fast for the level designers to make maps for the new tile set, for the next one. But yeah, as I said, like creativity will go into changing how the level generation system will work, or making big experiments, which you can still do. Like you let it generate and then you just change the things you want to see changed, right? So I don't think that will be an issue. I'm excited for more content, but all improvements have been good and the game is still fun to me. That's great to hear. We're always working on both. I just realized that Bart Pig is the guy from Clockwork Orange. Oh, is it? Wait, which one? His Steam or his Discord? Because I think his Steam, yeah. I'm looking at Discord right now. Steam. Do I find him this way? Probably not. Oh, maybe. Maybe not. Should be in my friend list somewhere. How did I manage to end up on the Chinese version of our community page on Steam? Weird. Oh no. Get back to English, please. Where's my friend list? For you, bro, huh? I kind of I'm trying to remember right now. I have a terrible image memory. Like I cannot remember visually. I don't remember. I cannot tell you the color, like the hair color of most people I know. Like I only know like a few, like the closest people around me, or people where I've made an active effort to remember it. It's like I don't have a visual memory like whatsoever. Like if I ever get like questioned by the police about something that happened in my surroundings, I will be I will be terrible at it. Come on, Steam, don't be. There we go. There should be my friend list. Bard. Yeah, that's the Clockwork Orange one. Yeah. I remember, right. That is correct. Let me scroll up. I missed a few messages, I think. Maybe fun to read it on stream and give your opinion, maybe. Yeah, sure, we can do that later, if we still have time, which we probably will. I thought it was the penguin for the longest time. What penguin? Which? Oh, the penguin from Batman? Is it possible that we could see some sort of melee? I always struggle with this word, I'm sorry. It's not melee, which I want to say. Melee? I think. Attack added. Probably later down the line, actually, yeah. Like the last time I asked Vince about it, Vince is our lead game designer, he responded with a knife emoji, so... I know it's not actively being worked on right now and it will not be in the near future, but maybe, well, probably later down the line. There will be service for Turkey country in the future. I mean, you can play on EU, I guess. Russia shouldn't be too bad either. I'm not sure if we will actually have Turkey servers. Maybe. We'll expand on regions eventually, I guess, but we have a lot of regions covered already, so... Poor Axum and Sandwich robots are taking their jobs. No, actually not. That's the cool thing about it. Like, their job changes from fixing what the robot messed up or adding stuff to the robot, or like doing the things like the manual tasks that the robot failed to do or wasn't told to do, to actually telling the robot what to do. So their tasks get more interesting, I'd say. I think a 5 damage pistol whip would be good. What? Why would you use that? Oh, you mean like as a feature, like you can whip someone with a pistol for 5 damage? I guess that would make sense. Yeah. Melee. Yeah, it's melee. I hate that word. There are a few words in English that I always get wrong. Melee, beta. I usually say beta or beta. I have to like make a conscious effort of saying beta. And yeah, as I said, melee, I usually say melee for some reason. There are a few others, but those are the most common ones. Like the funny thing is, these are like melee and beta are both words I use regularly. Usually the words I use regularly, I don't struggle with, except for these two, probably a few more, but like there are a few ones I just have a hard time wrapping my head around for some reason. Data? No, data is easy. English is rough, learned how hard it was once I learned Spanish. English is, like, the good thing about English is that the grammar is really easy. Like, it's easy to pick up and learn. It's the hard part is that there are a lot of words that are spelled the same way but pronounced completely differently, or words that are pronounced the exact same way but spelled completely differently, which just baffles my mind, especially the one where they're like spelled the same way, but like the other one makes sense for me. Like, okay, they're spelled differently but pronounced the same. Okay, it's a bit weird, but I get it. But the other way around, it's crazy. Like how are tear and tear spelled the same way? Like that just boggles my mind. How, like, what is this? Pine, please, may you look in feedback? I found something. Oh no, Tetra, don't go on the dome. Then you go to New York or Boston and you can't understand anyone. Well, America's big, so lots of different accents. I'm from Greater Boston area. Okay. Feedback discussion. What is it? Oh yeah, that's somewhere in the training area, I guess. the floppy disks. It's not a dome, yeah. Okay, so I wanted to go through the update from Monday. So the improvements for the hit rate stuff were improved server understanding of client prediction for verification of hits to improve hit registration. So that's the important part about hit reg, right? This means that the server will not, like if the shot comes in on the server, like the server receives the packet from the client. Okay, so how does this work? You click on your mouse. A few milliseconds later, your client, like your game, will will calculate, okay, the shot is landing at this point, and will send the data to the server and says, hey, I shot there. And then the server looks at it and says like, okay, is anything there? Oh yeah, it did hit, or no, it didn't hit. The client also checks if it hit something on his end, but this might differ from what the server sees. So that's how it used to work. The server said, oh, okay, there's nothing there. Sorry, you missed. While on the client, it was a hit. And now the server is more trying to understand what the client was seeing at the time when it was shooting. So this should help with hit reg consistently. There are a few more other things we'll go, but that's the first point. So the server tries to understand what the client did and what the client saw a few milliseconds ago, and will try to take that into account instead of just strictly looking at what the server sees at the time. There used to be doors in the Easter egg area. Why would I don't know. I don't know. Probably Ben changed it for some reason. Because he's usually the one making changes to the training area. So he added the new doors and whatnot. Improve client FX hit sounds predictions to line up properly with where the client should be predicting the hit. Wait, what was that about? Improve client FX hit sound prediction. I'm not quite sure. Some improvements to hit sounds. I was going through this list before and was trying to understand everything, but I think I forgot about this one. No rolling back. So if you wanted more technical details on some things, you can ask Ozzy or Tiamat about it. They're both they have very profound knowledge about these things. So, but I'll try to go through them and try to explain most of them, the ones I understand. I'm not super deep into this, so I only know the surface area. So sorry if I'm missing some of them or explaining something wrong or whatever. No rolling back shots. Once a shot has done damage, the damage won't be undone when a high latency player's movement is simulated. Players moving before our incoming shots packet arrive on the server don't cause shots to be ignored when being simulated. So there was a thing in the old code where you're shooting the target, the server registers the hit and says, yeah, that's a hit. Cool, you hit the target. And then a few milliseconds later, it receives a packet from another player. And that packet tells the server that actually at the time of the hit, that player had moved away and it's not a hit anymore. And then the server's like, okay, I guess you didn't do damage. Let's unwind that. Let's rewind time, scratch that. Sorry, you didn't damage. You didn't do damage. And that's obviously very infuriating for the shooter. It also that creates a lot of weird situations for the client who's shooting. So you don't really want that. So we removed that. And the other one was players moving before incoming shot packets arrive on the server. Yeah, and that's the other one, right? So this also could happen with what I explained earlier, basically, where you shoot on your client, you hit, but on the server, the other player has moved out of the way already, and then the server's like, nope, no damage. We also removed that, so that should help a lot. Client-side shooting delay is now mostly removed. Shooting is nearly instant, while FX sounds, hit FX and hit sounds have a slight delay. So that's what we talked about earlier. Recoil, muzzle flash, and tracer effects are happening after 31 milliseconds, which is almost instant, and hit sounds are at like 64 milliseconds, which is still pretty fast, but a little bit later. Add a modifier for multiple hit sounds to make it easier to understand how many hits are made with the shotguns. Yeah, you can actually test this yourself if you're going to the training area. You can shoot, like Okay, you need to set your game to offline and enter admin hacking mode, I guess. But but basically what it allows, like what this means is that if you're shooting with the shotgun, you will hear every pellet. And if you have it will sound different with 1 pellet hit in comparison to 5 pellets hit or 9 pellets hit. So that's very useful for shotguns because it gives you better feedback on how much damage you actually did. And a dry fire to client shot prediction. Guns will play a dry fire sound when you attempt to fire them while empty. I guess that's obvious what this means. It's a nice quality of life change. Fixed bug where clients' guns could occasionally have their sights misaligned. Yeah. Then it's fixed. Add client shot prediction RNG settings so that clients can render shots involving RNG at client shooting time correctly. Fire or brace without laser. So I believe what that means is that we have in some firing modes, hip fire and brace without laser, there is RNG involved in the recoil. So how the recoil happens is RNG based. And before that, the RNG was happening on the server and the client was doing something else. So the client was shooting and the recoil it showed to the player was not valid because it was a different one than the server had. And now these are the same. And the client actually knows what it's doing. So that's good, I guess. Recoil is moved to client shooting time to give better recoil timing to resolve feeling with recoil feeling misaligned with the fire. I have actually no idea what this means. Recoil is moved to client shooting time. I should ask Ozzy about this or Tiamat. Recoil is moved to client shooting time. Maybe this means that recoil starts when the client shoots and not when the server receives the shot or something like that. Flinches from hits are now predicted as to avoid mispredictions on double headshots. Flinches from hit. Okay, I'm lost. As I said, if you want to know, if you want to understand all of it, you have to ask Tiamat and Ozzy. I'm just trying to give you the rundown here. Shooting the chambered bullet without a mag loaded is now possible. Yay. One more shot. Well, it was one more shot before, but now you can do it without the mag in. So that's cool. What can you do in the offline mode? Technically, if you switch your game to offline, there's no way for the server to, or there's no way for the client to check if you are actually an admin. So you can change your config file and tell the client, hey, I'm an admin, and it will do it, which will allow you to spawn stuff in the training area because you can access the training area while offline. There will be custom matches so we can play with our friends on test maps. Okay, so right now we have a private match feature, which allows you to play with your friends and against your friends. That's how all the competitive scene is run and all the 10-man bots and whatnot. To enable it, you have to go to the UI settings, I believe, and turn on the password box. And that will allow you to set a password for your match, and then you can only, or for your queue, and then you can only be queued, or you can only be matched against players or against another squad that also uses that. Well, you can only be matched with players who are also using that password. Eventually, we want to expand that to a proper custom match feature where you can select which maps you want to play on, maybe, probably, change some rules, play with more than 5 players per team, maybe, stuff like that. But that's a long way out. That's not coming anytime soon. But you can play with your friends already, and against your friends. So, Hall of Mirrors, Tal said when. Oh boy, that would be amazing. I imagine it would be. This is probably not feasible from a technical perspective. Mirrors are hard in games. They are hard for your performance. They're this is having a Hall of Mirrors is probably horrible performance-wise. This will just tank your frame rate. So probably not happening. What are your plans for the private lobbies update? I mean, I just laid them out. Have you seen how Diabolical approached it? It's a cool way. No, I didn't. But feel free to give us the cliff notes. Yeah, reflection video games are rough. Lots of AAA games avoid mirrors too. Yep, they do. Also, AAA games avoid doors, but we have plenty of them. Doors are hard. like you can't like if you're not like in game, like not experienced with game development, you'll not realize how hard doors are. Like doors are a freaking problem to the game devs. It's ridiculous. They're so hard to get right, so they're not janky, not buggy, not causing problems with netcode and stuff like that. Doors are rough. So, okay, work that still needs to be done. So these are points Tiamat did decide to do later, or at a later point in development, which will help with hit rate even more. Improve server extrapolation to smooth out movement for high latency players. So this will make it nicer to look at players who have high latency, because their animation will, or not the animation, the movement will be less choppy and weird. So that's cool. Improve time resolution of shooting to reduce discrepancy between player visuals and player hitboxes used for collision detection. Improve time resolution? I'm actually not sure what that means, but it probably helps with hit reg from the sounds of it. Update server and client communication to allow more up-to-date rendering of other players' movement. Increase limb shooting accuracy, decreases animation jitter. Yeah, this will also help with hit reg in minor ways probably, so that's why it got pushed back, but more stuff coming eventually. So that's good. And we also added the new home screen, which most of you probably not aware of. It's also because you're not the target audience. The home screen is important for like new players that are brand new to the game, because other players would just click away from it instantly. And then two big things it shows now, like the most prominent features on the home screen are now the Discord, like join the community, and the mic check, because while we have this neat pop-up that comes up when you open the game for the first time to configure your mic, most people close it without reading, because that's just a bad habit people learned these days. Like if something pops up unexpectedly, you're trying to close it as fast as possible without reading what it's about. It's just people are trained to do this at this point. So the pop-up is, I wouldn't say not effective, but is in a lot of cases ignored. And so yeah, we made this card in the home screen that reminds you to where you can find your audio settings and stuff like that. So yeah, I think this will help a lot, because getting people connected with the community is really good for retention. People who are invested or like connected to other players will have an easier time learning the game, and will also more likely be invested into the game and be connected to the competitive side of it and stuff like that, which helps a lot. Like it helps tremendously with retention. And the mic thing, as I said, like will hopefully help people figure out their mic before they jump into a game, and this will give them a much more pleasant experience with the game. Our 6 decided doors aren't real, just like Tom Clancy wanted. Isn't it like every interactive movable thing is hard? I guess, yeah, that's pretty accurate. It becomes even worse if you're talking about things that can move players around. Like that's the really hard part. Being honest, I liked Seastar during the winter update the best. Don't need Christmas decorations, but snow in Seastar was my favorite. Yeah, it was nice for sure. A lot of people complain about the sound and snow made, so but that would need to be adjusted when we want to do it again. But I like the snow as well. I gave it a good feel. Okay, so that was this week's patch. Last week's patch was basically nothing. Well, a few more sounds. That's not nothing. New audio for mollies and grenades, so that's good. But besides that... Oh yeah, and a fix to the dome stuff. That was the anti-tetra patch. It was the best sound ever, that crunch. Fix for respawn glitch. What are you referring to exactly? Respawn glitch? Does the anti-tetra patch also apply to old maps? Yes, pretty sure it does. But Tetra would know best. There's a customize button. What can we customize, our character or a gun? Well, right now you can't do either, but soon enough you will be able to customize your character. We'll eventually figure out a way to do gun skins, I guess, but the primary thing for now will be character customization. We're actively working on that. So you will be able to select different pants, different jackets, different characters, and stuff like that. So that will be nice. I can't wait to no-clip with the shopping cart through the wall inside the attacker's truck. We'll put a lot of effort into making the cart not be as jank as it was in the alpha. Some people after dying have respawned in setup room. Oh, I'm not aware of that bug. But if it got reported, then we'll probably have it in our pipeline. Yay, 100 messages. Yep, Restream always does that. You can tweet about it, like it's a bit weird. I could block the Restream bot from the chat. That would be fun. No, let's not do that. Might be useful from time to time. Not really. I think it's only doing like the welcome message. Like the chat is ready to go or whatever. That's probably not even going into chat. Well, this one isn't either, right? Is it actually sending this to Twitch? I don't think it is. No, it's not. It's just showing it on in the Restream chat. So 100 massages. Wait, wait. Okay, let's actually take a look at the attack economy proposal really quick and skim through it from Snarms. Do I just read it? It would be like, do I have a good way to share screen? Display capture. How would that look? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It will be a bit jank, but it will work. So let me look at it in bigger. Yeah, that's fine. Is it? Oh, perfect. It's cut off perfectly. Great. Okay. Transition. Oh, sorry. Didn't meant to flashbang you. Pressed the wrong button. My bad. Attack economy. So this is a suggestion by Snarms. I didn't read through it yet, so this is my first time as well. So we're just gonna read through it for fun and see if it's a good idea or not. Attack economy. Disclaimer. I was planning to go more in depth about this idea, but it's taking me too much time to finish it. So just keep that in mind when reading this. Okay. Introduction. With the upcoming Defender Economy update, we can expect to see a system that allows for more guns utility being added for the defenders without damaging the economy. That's correct. But there are no current plans on updating. Should I make this a little bit bigger, by the way? It's probably nicer for stream, right? But there are no current plans on updating the attacker's economy with the same flexibility of adding new guns utility. So here's my idea for improving the attack economy. Well, this is correct. This is less important for the attackers, at least right now, because they will have a less crazy arsenal. They will be they will always have a more streamlined arsenal of equipment. So it's less of an issue for them. But eventually, would be nice to add more stuff, I guess. So let's take a look. The lore. With the terrorist attacks increasing in Alpha City, that's not how you spell this, by the way, it's PH. Don't mean to grammar Nazi you here, but again, with the terrorist attacks increasing in Alpha City and the Crims becoming better equipped and more knowledgeable about Argus forces, Argus Enforcement had to make a change to the way they train their recruits. The standard equipment and tactics seem to be not always viable in certain scenarios. I like that you put a lore segment in here. Like, that's pretty cool, actually. Basing your system on some lore. Therefore, different Argus branches were made that approach terrorism in their own ways. Will Argus destroy terrorism once and for all, or will the Crims adapt and overcome this new challenge? We shall find out. Tonight on Kildome. Oh no, wait. The idea. Before the 3 attacking rounds, the team will be able to vote on what Argus branch they want to be playing as. If there is a tie between the votes, before the 3 attacking rounds, so every round, yes? I guess. Oh no, before that, like every set? Does this mean like at the start of the half, or does this mean, or at the start of the set? Or does this mean every attacking round? Before the set, okay. If there's a tie between the votes, the branches with the least votes are removed and the players can vote again. If there's still a tie, then the branch will get picked randomly. If a player doesn't vote, the match will be terminated and the player who didn't vote will get a penalty. Okay. Only in ranked test. Yeah, it's okay, I see where you're going with this. The defenders will get notified during the planning phase on what branches the attacking team have picked. Balance. There are certain items that will always stay the same throughout all of the branches. This is to keep the game consistent and balanced for all tile sets. In the image below, you can see the loadout of Argus Alpha, the one in the game, plus the ballistic shield and the silencers that will come soon. The items highlighted in blue are different in other branches. The item is in red will always stay the same no matter what branch you pick. The items in orange are always available in every branch, but the amount of them can be different. Note that the shotgun shells are highlighted in orange. This is to keep it consistent with other shotguns. Okay, so you would always have your saber and shotguns, black tar, AP, and pistols. You will always have smokes and frags. And you will always have at least some NVGs, some shields, and some silencers. Wait, there will be a branch that doesn't have flashbangs? I'm a little scared. Wait, there will be a branch that doesn't have what? Oh, no, wait, I messed it up. It's the other way around, right? Okay, Callus threw me up. So you will always have flashbangs. You will always have a clacker, watch shots, and wall charge. That makes more sense. You will always have some NVGs and silencers and shields, but not always the same amount. But the weapons will can completely change, and smokes and frags as well. That makes more sense. Each branch will be able to do the same things as other branches, like rushing, playing sneaky, disrupting enemy defense, etc. But every branch will be the best at a specific task. For example, as Argus Alpha, you still can take NVGs and silencers to try and turn off power to get an advantage. But with Argus Shadow, the Shadow, you will get more benefit when playing like that. And as Argus Shadow, you can still brute force through enemy defenses, but Argus Alpha will be better at that. This is to keep every branch competitive and balanced. Okay, yeah, it's a cool idea. I can give you a few of my own thoughts on that, but it's definitely I like it from I like the idea as an idea. It's a cool feeling, cool. It fits the theme. It would be a cool way of going with it. So the problem I have, like the main problem I have with it, I would probably make the voting maybe a little different. Like terminating the match seems wrong. I would just like choose randomly or whatever. But that doesn't really matter. The one thing let's highlight the things I like first. So it makes it fits in the universe, right? It makes sense with different branches and stuff. It's also cool, like it's a big choice, right? That's always cool. Like making big choices is cool, and like gives you variety without breaking anything, without going too much into detail. So I like that a lot. Also notifying the defenders, like this comes down to a lot of this prediction stuff, right? The attackers choose Alpha. Okay, so the defenders can know this now and can adjust their strategy towards that and stuff like that. So that's really cool. The thing that's a bit weird for me is that, and I don't have a good solution to change it, but the thing that I'm a bit worried about is that this is a decision you make at the start of the set. So this will be completely based on player preference. There will be this decision is not affected by the maps or the current state of the match or anything else really, but player preference. This will just, hey, I like the Argus Shadow guys the most, or I like the Foxes the most, I like Alpha the most, and that will be picked, right? Whatever the majority is in that specific team. I guess for competitive play, there could be some thingies where you take Shadow against Nemesis, but Foxes versus Rise or whatever, something like that, maybe. But I would. It's more likely that this will actually evolve into a meta where there is one meta pick. You always have to choose if you want to have the best chances at winning, and not the others. So that's the issue I have with this. Like, if I would change the attacker economy, I would like to change it in a way that makes a decision where you have to make a decision based on either the current state of the match or like the maps you're playing on or the tile set you're playing on. Even the tile set is iffy, but the map you're playing on would be cool. Like, for example, in the alpha back in the day, the defenders had a somewhat similar system like way back in alpha. Like this was pre-alpha actually. There was a system where the defenders had to do 2 votes actually. So they had a vote between long range and short range, and a vote between card, shield, and card, auto shotgun, and mob. So power weapon and long range versus short range. Or was long range, short range mixed? Maybe it was 3. I think it was 3. There was also a vote on utility, I think. Whatever. Basically, you made certain choices, and you voted in certain choices, and depending on that, a bunch of crates with weapons and utility were spawned into the level, and then you spawned next to them and you could pick them up. So you chose for every round what would be available for the defenders. And the really cool thing about it, what made the system great, is that the attackers were notified about it. So the attackers knew. After a few seconds, like they planning starts, they look at the map. After a few seconds, they get the message, hey, defenders have chosen long range, mob, and fire extinguishers or whatever. And at that point, oh, okay, they want to play long angles. Where will they put the mob? Probably over here. Let's do a wall charge and get right behind them over there and throw over the plants. And defenders are like, we're choosing long range. Sorry, they're wall charging over here because they think we're placing them up there. But in fact, we're placing them up over there and we'll completely throw them over. So that was the cool part of that. That worked really well in that regard. It had some other problems why it got scratched eventually, but the core concept was this. And that worked really, really great for making these plans and prediction thingies. So I like that a lot. And if I would ever design a system that allows for a different economy for the attackers, I would try to do something that more goes into like leans toward that direction, or not necessarily that direction, but that allows for the same kind of decision making and planning and prediction. Because this is too broad in my opinion. Because as I said, like the choice will be completely based on player preference. Don't want to rip it apart. As I said, like a lot of cool things in here, and I also think you made the right choices here. Like flashbangs, clackers, door charge, wall charge, always available, makes absolutely sense. NVGs, silence and shields being like the middle thing that you always have, but to different. That makes sense, right? That's completely. I'm totally on board with the choices you made here. And as I said, I like the idea. But if I would, this is not the system I would choose if I would make a new system. But it's a fun idea for sure, and I think maybe it can be adjusted in a way that would make sense for it. Not quite sure how. Maybe the attackers could have like a base arsenal they always have, and then they can choose every round like an additional supply drop or something like that, and that's from different companies or whatever. Different sponsors, something like that. Get the Maelstrom Mechatronics pack, or something like that. I think that would work better, something like that. This is from Snarms, yeah. But yeah, cool idea. Always interested in new ideas. I definitely like the branch thing. I'm trying to. My brain is right now running through possibilities how you could use this idea, like the branch thing, because I really like the branch thing. That's really cool to me. But make it so that it's not just a choice at the start of the match, basically, or not match, but set. But can't really come up with something right now. But yeah, I really like the idea. I just think the actual implementation would need to be a little different. We'll see. Maybe something springs to mind later. But yeah, thanks for that. Always appreciate it if people actually put the effort in and make a proper formatted document, add pictures and mock-ups. Like that's extra mile. That helps a lot with assessing feedback, right? Just like everyone can just write a line of letters or a line of like a few words, or just like a wall of text. In Discord, going the extra mile and putting some effort in is very, very much appreciated. Okay, let's switch back to this time without flashbang. There we go. Maybe depending on the layout of the map, certain branches could be more powerful. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? You don't know the layout of the maps when you make this decision. That's the one thing that irks me about the system. Besides that, I think it's really cool. But if you find a way to change that, like make the choice about the map you're seeing, or make the choice about the current state of the game, like, you know, okay, they lost them up, or I don't know, something like that, or we don't have a wall charge anymore, so instead let's go for the sneaky route or something like that. I think this would work way better. I will look at it later, Tetra. Yeah, thanks, Snarms. Thanks to you for writing this up. I always like seeing good ideas. Or, well, put together ideas. Or both. I hope my critique of it did not discourage you too much. You caused this? Oh no, it's the Tetra thing. Yeah, we'll look at it later. All right. Any more questions? By the way, another update for people who are... I mentioned this before, but maybe not everybody got the message yet. I'm reworking the roadmap right now, so it will be structured differently, and the goal is to make it easier for you to understand what we're actually working on and which features are blocking which. So basically it will show you, hey, this is what the engineering team works on, and after they have finished that, they will go to this task, and then to this task, and then to this task. This is what the art team is working on, and after finish this task, they will go to this task, and then this task, and this is, and for every, like for, what do we have right now? Engineering, gameplay, so gameplay design, game design, whatever you want to call it, art, audio, and levels. That's the 5 ones. So that will help a lot. I hope, at least, or I think this will help a lot with transparency on what we're working on and which features will come when. So yeah, I'm working on that, trying to get it out for next week probably. Why are there plans to change the Defender economy? What's wrong with it now? How do I put this? Well, it's not so much that there's something wrong with it, but changing the Defender economy will allow us to expand the Defender arsenal without screwing over the game's economy. So right now, if we want to add more Defender guns and more equipment, something else would have to go. But we don't want that. We want the Defenders to have a lot of variety, and the Defender economy system will allow us to do that. It will allow us to, make more guns available, but you will still be limited in the choices because you will have to pay for them, right? And on top of that, it will allow for, it has a few other goals, a little bit more. How do I put this? Well, that's a big one, right? There are other smaller, like more subtle thingies that Bard wants to achieve with this. Bard being our creative director and the one who's mainly working on this to get on the design side, on the design or on the design part of that. And but I cannot like, I have a hard time expressing his thoughts on this, so we'll do another Bard Q&A eventually on stream, and that would be a good time to talk to ask him again. But you can also go back and watch the VOD from the first one, not the last one, but the first one from, like, when was that? Last year, I think, maybe start of this year, something like that. There's a segment about the defender economy, and he goes a little bit more in depth on what he wants to achieve with it. But the main thing, like the big thing, is that it will allow us to add more stuff for the defenders. Storm's right now. I also realized these problems when I was working on it. I have some solutions for it, but they are a bit whack. Yeah, that's a problem, right? How do you make it not whack? That's the big question. So okay, let's talk about something else. If you don't have any questions, what are your predictions for DPL? Like, because DPL is like mid-season right now. Week 5 out of 7 is approaching. So we're getting somewhat towards the end of the season, or the main season, before playoffs. So, what do you think? Let's take a look at the leaderboard really quick. So, where is it? Where is it? There we go. Oh, that's not up to date. Okay, where's the other one? Why is this not up to date? It's our current recap. I guess if I open this, I can probably show this. Display. Move this over here. Yeah, looks good. It's not flashbang you. There we go. So that's the week 4 recap. So current standings are Nemesis and Rise are tied for 4 points. So they both won all of their games so far. And they will actually facing this week. So Sunday, 3:30 p.m. EST. That will be a very important match for this season, for sure. And then we have Yakuza on 3rd place with 3 points. Gnomes on 4th place with 2 points. Then Goi, Fierce, and Reds are tied for 5th with 1 point. And LCG is last so far. They didn't manage to win a match yet. Who they're playing this week? Fierce. No, wait, that's Reds. Goi. Goi's used to be super strong, but they're not in shape right now. Like they're getting beaten quite a bit. They only won 1 match so far. Who won it? Did they win again? I'm not quite sure. Wait, let me find out. 1 second. But yeah, what are your predictions? Will Nemesis be able to keep their spot at the top? And especially, who will win, Nemesis or Rise this week? Like, what's the play here? What do you think? Who did Guy win against? Oh, this is the Reds, right? Last week, like week 3. Yeah, the one versus Reds. Yeah. But we'll see. I think LCG has a shot. Goi is definitely the favorite here, but I think LCG has a shot if they're playing. If they bring their A game and Goi is a little bit out of touch, then maybe. Fierce versus Reds will probably go to Fierce, I'd say, but we will see. Yakuza will probably take the match versus Gnomes. But Nemesis versus Rise? That's the big question mark. And even for these, like, this could definitely go the other way as well. Like, Reds are actually playing pretty strong this season, I have to say, in my opinion. And Gnomes are surprisingly good as well. It's just that Fierce and Yakuza are both really strong. So they're definitely the favorite here. But actually, Fierce is not that... I mean, I think they've faced pretty strong enemies so far. Who did Fierce play against? So they won against Gnomes, right? So that's their win. They lost versus Yakuza and Nemesis. So they had really strong opponents so far. Yakuza and Nemesis, both absolute top teams. So Fierce had a hard time so far, and they won the match versus Gnomes. So even though they only have 1 point, they're definitely like further up in this board at the end of the season, I would assume anyway. But who knows? Maybe getting beaten that hard throughout the first 3 weeks left a mark on them, and the rest can actually take the match from them. Then again, Fierce won versus Gnomes last week, so they should not have too big of too many mental issues with this right now. But who knows? You never know. Could be overturned. Like as I said, Reds have definitely surprised me so far. They're playing really strong, in my opinion. Like not strong enough to be top here. They only have 1 point, but they're playing stronger than expected. So yeah, we will see. I'm looking forward to this weekend for sure, especially the Rise Nemesis match. Cannot miss that one. Yeah, I think it will be really rough for the end of the season. Like Yakuza, Rise, and Nemesis could all be the top team in the end. Yakuza being 1 point behind will have a hard time to overtake Nemesis, but they could definitely tie against them, which would actually put them behind them because head-to-head score, I guess. Like if Nemesis loses to Rise, they're... I mean, probably it's like this, right? Whoever wins this match this weekend will be probably number 1 at the end of the season. But who knows? Maybe Rise loses another... Well, if they're winning versus Nemesis, I don't see them losing against the others. Who did they play against? Was the Reds? Versus Goy? Versus LCG? Okay, they had and versus Fierce, and they beat Fierce, but so that's not the strongest opponents yet. They didn't play versus Yakuza yet. They're now playing versus Nemesis, and Gnomes. Yeah, I'm confusing things. No, Nemesis, Yakuza, and what's the other team they still have to play? LCG, Rise, Reds, Rise. What was the other? There we go. No, that's Reds LCG. Wait, who did Rise play against? So they played versus Reds. They played versus Goy. They played versus LCG. And they played versus Fierce, right? Okay, so they're still facing Yakuza, Nemesis, and Gnomes, I guess. So if they're winning versus Nemesis, I mean, I guess they could still be beaten by Yakuza. But seems unlikely at this point. Like if they're winning it versus Nemesis, it seems unlikely that they'll get beaten by Yakuza. But you never know. Could happen for sure. I mean, all 3 teams are definitely strong right now. All top contenders. The big question is who will make it on 4th and make it into playoffs. Will that actually be Fierce, or will Gnomes strike through? Like, what's going to happen here? Will we see a surprise from Reds, or is Goy picking up the slack again and coming back up there? Who, like, or maybe even LCG somehow? I mean, if they win 3 more games, they have 3 points, which could potentially put them at 4th. Probably not, though. It will be hard for LCG to get 4th, but the others all still have a shot. So, interesting. Oh yeah, LCG didn't play Nemesis yet, so it's unlikely that they'll win the next 3 games. That's fair. So Snums writes, my prediction is that Nemesis is going to get exposed for cheating and they will be disqualified. Joking. Yeah, unlikely. I heard that top team Toxic writes, I heard that top team LCG is about to secure their first win of the season this weekend. I heard that as well. Toxic is on team LCG, by the way. So we'll see. We will see. Definitely interesting. And then Rivals is actually fairly interesting as well. Let's actually turn a back on again. Because like Neo seems to, like, they're not really that, they're first place. They won everything so far, but they're not. This is only, like, you have to keep in mind, like, you get 4 points per match if you win completely. Like, you're playing best of 2. Every game after 2 games is 2 points, and if you tie, you get 1 point. So Neo is not even a full match ahead of Kitura. Actually, they are. Never mind. They're one match ahead of Kitura. But Neo, Kitura, Frisky, TFK, and even VTS are all super strong. They're all super strong. And yeah, they're just Rivals is really, really competitive right now. Actually, I mean, Neo seems to be the strongest team so far, but still, the others are definitely not weak by any means. So this will be interesting how this shapes up over the season. Like Neo will probably stay up there. They might get dethroned on second, maybe. I mean, if Kitura wins against them this week, then they will be actually tied in points, which will put Kitura up, I think, because of head-to-head score. Maybe not. Not sure. But yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Who will get where, and then again, who will get the 6th spot? Will Pogfish keep that? Because the top 6 will go into the promotion tournament. Will Pogfish get that 6th spot, or will maybe Red come strike through and get back up there? One Tag seems to be inactive right now. OBM is playing. For them to get there will be rough though. CSP seems to be inactive. Genesis is a new team. We will see how they do, and same for OG. These two teams, like CSP, Grim, and One Tag, all are did not check in for this week. You can see down here, like Genesis and OG are fighting, so we'll see how they will do. Is this OG or is this OBM? That's actually OBM. Never mind. So Genesis, OBM. Oh, Grim is Grim checked in? Wait, are we lacking a match here? Oh wait, this is not the updated one. Oops. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is actually wrong. I have to should put in an update to that. That's not correct. Where are the rivals thingies? So we have OBM versus Red, Neo versus Kitura, OG versus Genesis, Pogfish versus, what's that? Vultures? Yeah, Vultures. Frisky versus Fridge Knights. So yeah, Genesis and OG, both new. They will play this week, and we'll see how strong they are. Well, we'll see who's the strongest of the two at least. But maybe one of them can make it to the top. Pogfish's LCG Academy official lore. 1v1 me on Tetris. No, I'm bad at Tetris. I also don't really like Tetris all that much. Me on Connect 4. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know if I'm good at that game. Anyway, yeah. So this is actually outdated. Well, we'll put an update there later, I guess. Anyway, I think it's time to cut the stream short. Yeah, that doesn't work. What is your headset? I'll forget what's the name again. It's a COS something. Does it say on here? No. Does it say on the? No, I don't have the packaging anymore. It's really cheap, but I like it. Should we show Tetra's thing? Sure, let's show Tetra's thing. Where is it? Didn't you send it? Did you delete the DM? Okay, I have it. Pause. No, that's wrong. There we go.
It's 2 in a row that they've just won. So, no, it's not 2 in a row. They've just won a round. I'm waffling. So, we'll see. See what happens in this.
Stop zooming in.
They look pretty cool in their chairs. But I found this out.
What? What?
They're boogieing, bro.
Oh, that's funny. Not a bug. It's a feature. Oh boy. That's funny. We won that round thanks to my Genius 2 and IQ thread. Nice. Congratulations. Alright. I was about to end the stream, wasn't I? So let's do that. It was a good chat, everyone. Wait. You run left, I run right, we win. That sounds like 200 IQ at least. Digital Doctor, will you be added to the customization as a playable character? Like me? I don't think so, no. Styx is streaming. Pre-scrim training. I guess we can host Styx. Pie and Crim. I feel like more like an Argus, honestly. Pie and Crim when? Oh no. What did you start, Doctor? When did you look at what you have started? Spam Netchamp to make Pie and Crim a thing. It doesn't even rhyme. Pie and Argus? Yeah. Totally. Alright. Yeah, let's finish this up. So thanks everyone for watching. I'm TH Pine, your community manager for Due Process or Tactical 5-5. Well, you know the drill. So thanks a lot for joining Community Hours, so a weekly QA session. We'll be back with regular streams next week. Monday and Tuesday we'll do Making Maps, and Wednesday another Community Hours. Also check out DPL this weekend. Saturday and Sunday, 1 p.m. till 6 p.m. EST. Don't miss it. Will be some exciting matches. For sure. Especially the Rise Nemesis one at 3:30 Sunday. And also, oh. I can't spoil it yet, I think. I'm not allowed to. But there will be another cool thing tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST. I DPL related. So mark that in your calendar. I hope it's gonna be happening, but it's looking good right now. It's probably gonna happen. So look forward to that. That's gonna be fun. I teased it last week already, and then it didn't happen. So this might have been a mistake, but we'll see. It's looking good so far. Please tease. We won't tell anyone. I don't trust you guys. I'm sorry. But I will be part of it. I can tease you that. So that's gonna be cool. Anyway, I wanted to end this. So yeah, thanks a lot everyone for coming by. Please say hi to Styx. I should say less should make less noises while talking. And we'll see you tomorrow, maybe? Not on this channel though, DPL. And on this channel on Monday next week. But as I said, check out DPL as well tomorrow and on the weekend. And until next time. That was not a flashbang button. Okay, this time I want to try the throw. Wait, where's it? Yeah, it's here. It should be here. It's not okay.
This is one. I'm receiving at 39. This is one. I'm receiving at 39.